What is going on, Chaotix? I'm Chaos, and, you guys seem to like the starter rankings video, so we're going to do one with mythical Pokemon. So, I hope you guys are going to enjoy this video. We're going to be going through all 21 mythical Pokemon and ranking them on my favorites to my least favorites. Well, actually vice versa. My least favorite to my favorite. You can see the numbers and the boxes on the screen. Of course, first is gold, second is silver, and third is bronze. For our placings, everyone is going to be placed somewhere on this list, with about 11 being about the middle of the round. So that's what we're going to do today. I hope you guys do enjoy this, and this is my opinion on all the mythical Pokemon. So let's take a look at it. And by the way, it's not scripted, and I'm using these shiny sprites because, that's the only ones I have of HD of everything except for Meltan and Melmetal, but we'll cover that in a minute. So let's get into this list, and we'll start with number 21, which is Phione, or Phione, whatever. The reason I don't like this thing so much, it's obviously my least favorite. It's a Manaphy clone. That's really all it is. It's actually weaker than that. It's really pretty pathetic as a mythical Pokemon. It's the only Pokemon you get mythical by breeding, so that's kind of interesting way to do it. But I just think it's I don't like to breed for mythical Pokemon because I think that takes out the mythicalness of them. Phione's more like a regular Pokemon to me. Although since Phione and Manaphy are basically essentially the same Pokemon, just slightly different, I think it'd be cool if Manaphy, if you had some kind of item for Phione to evolve into Manaphy, and that'd be cool. But then again, I do not like legendaries or mythical Pokemon evolving, so that's something else we gotta deal with. But it's overall just a really bad mythical Pokemon. It does have a better shiny than Manaphy, and I like the design better than Manaphy, but other than that, there's really nothing going for it. Number 20, we're going to have Hoopa. And this is pretty easy if you've watched the Hoopa movie. I haven't even watched it yet, and I know Misa Hoopa Ring! So it's, I'm not looking forward to watching that video, but at some point we have to, so it's going to be there. I don't like how it's 4 times weak to Bug. I like the Unbound form better, but really I just don't like this Pokemon. It looks kind of weird. Not the best design of Game Freak, but it's kind of just there. It's bleh. It's just kind of bleh. Number 19 is going to be Diancie. Now, I do really like the shiny Diancie. It's really awesome. I just don't really like this Pokemon, mostly because, it seemed a little bit lackluster in the Jewel of Life, in my opinion. I don't really like the typing for it. And also, we've talked about evolutions and Pokemon being, Diancie. I don't really like how the thing with it in Carbink being pretty much the same Pokemon, just different variants of it. I don't like that idea. I think it's interesting, but just make Diancie a regular Pokemon and not a mythical at that point. Number 18 is Meltan. I do really like this thing. It's really cute, adorable. I don't really get the eye and the hex thing and the Hexanut. I'm really actually disappointed with this Pokemon because I really wanted it to be a big part of Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. However, it literally was just an event we got in. It was literally an event for this thing and go, and that's it. You can get it shiny, and that's it. So they missed a big opportunity here. Number 17 is Melmetal. Same reasons as Meltan. Again, it's an evolution. I don't really like that. And if I had to have one of the two, I would definitely pick Melmetal. I think it looks better as a mythical Pokemon. And I definitely wish it was, there was a little bit more variety in its design. I understand that, it's nuts, like Hexanuts and Gears type looking, and it's supposed to be like this combination of a bunch of alchemic metals. But I wish there was a story behind this thing. Really, it just kind of shows up, and honestly, it really represents mythical Pokemon, and I think because they usually don't show up in anything besides the movies, and since we don't have a movie to go off of with Meltan and Melmetal yet, I really can't give you a whole lot of opinion on them, so they're just kind of for now. Next up is Magearna, and it should be relatively easy to understand why I don't like Magearna. I hate the Steel Fairy typing. It's way too overpowered in my opinion. I really do like Mawile though, but I just don't like Magearna. It's just such a bad it's so bad when you have to fight it in Draft League. That's why I don't like it, honestly. I hated it. because shift gear just boosts your speed essentially all the way up, and then if you hit it 3 times, you can get your special attack boosted with Soul Heart. It's really just a sweepy mon, and it's really like, it really just made me mad battling it this season in PDL. So that's a lot of the reason why I don't like it. Also, I do not. If you're gonna make a Steel Fairy Pokemon and you make it look like a Pokeball, make it look like a Pokeball. Like, obviously it's supposed to be a Pokeball. Make it a Pokeball. If you're not, then don't. Cool, great, thanks. Next up, number 15 is gonna be Arceus himself. You know, I'm a Lord Helix kind of guy, so Arceus being anywhere in the top of this list is definitely not gonna happen. Arceus, I like its abilities. Like, I like the multi-type with giving it different like stone plates, and it changes form, it changes typing. I like that ability for it, but you know, I wish I could catch this thing. I didn't really like it in Jewel of Life. I hated it, honestly, and it's just not my favorite type of Pokemon. Next up at 14, we have Meloetta. Now, Meloetta is kind of meh. In the middle of this, the middle row is pretty much just meh. I don't really care for them. I don't really hate them. I think it's a little feminine. Same with Diancie and Magearna, a little feminine, and I don't really care for Pokemon that are either masculine or feminine. I want them to look like monsters. So, stop trying to make them humanoid. I mean, I do love Gardevoir, but that's different. Don't. That was one that you did well, okay? That was the only one you did well. And Glade. Well, Glade's good too. So those are the only 2 you did well. The rest of them kind of... Okay, Lucario's pretty... You know, I just don't... Either make it a human or make it a Pokemon, please. Stop trying to give us this in-between things. It really... They're either hit or miss, and Meloetta's a miss. It's not really great. I like the form change, but I also wish I could choose which form it was in. So, that's a thing. Because otherwise, it's always going to be in this form if you don't have Relics on. So, yeah. I wish I could just choose to be the fighting type if I wanted to. Because I think normal fighting is a cool type, but... You know, it's not great, but it's there. Next up, you got Manaphy, and you know, Manaphy's kind of, yeah. I know it has really good sweeping potential. It can tail glow up, and that's insane. I also can use like Water Beam Z and Rain and make it really powerful with hydration. But I just don't really like this thing. I think it was, like, I know they made it a baby in Temple of the Sea, and I did not like that at all. I think it really took away from Manaphy being a cool Pokemon. Of course, the ending was really heart-wrenching, but it really just took away Manaphy ever being cool for me. You catch what I want mythical Pokemon to be cool and mysterious, and not like, I'm a baby, I'm crying all the time. Like, I understand what you were doing, but I think Manaphy, that movie just ruined Manaphy for me, honestly. Number 12, we got Genesect, and honestly, the only really thing I've ever used a Genesect. I've tried it once in competitive. It's kind of cool with the drives, but then again, it takes away the item. I did not like it in the movie it was in, Genesect, a Mewtwo movie. Of course, I really like Mewtwo, so it being put against my favorite legendary Pokemon, in essence, is, yeah, not good. You're not going to make me like this Pokemon. Although I do think it's a really cool Pokemon. I can see its relation with Kabutops. I really like that theory, so that gives it a little bit of a bonus here. And it's got a really cool shiny as well. Most of these things I haven't talked about their shinies, but, you know, Genesect is a really good shiny. One of the best of the Mythicals, in my opinion. Number 11, hitting the middle, we got Volcarona. Now, I really like the typing. This Fire and Water are really cool typings. However, it makes it a pain in the butt to kill because it usually has Water Absorb. So that takes away its water weakness, making this thing really difficult to try to counter. And honestly, that's something I don't like about it. I hate coming up against it in competitive, like especially on Showdown. The shiny also is really, in the form itself, like the face is kind of weird. It seems like it should be like a dragon type to me. And so I don't really care for this thing. Maybe Water Electric would make more sense, but I just don't really care for this thing that much. Number 10, we got Zeraora. So Zeraora hits the middle here, just about, barely makes the top 10. It's kind of the middle ground here. Honestly, we've got to the middle ground here. All the Pokemon before I don't really care for at all. Zeraora is in the middle ground. I've never used this Pokemon. I've never really focused on this Pokemon. I did at one point talk about it with competitive and how it was going to rank. But other than that, I haven't used Zeraora. I wish it were an electric fighting type, I think that would have made it, that definitely would have made it number 9 on this list if it were electric fighting. But since I've never used it and since I haven't watched the video with it, it's just kind of mediocre, sits in the middle. Number 9 is Marshadow. For the same reason as Zeraora, I haven't used this thing, I haven't watched the movie with it in it. It's really just kind of meh. I love the ghost fighting type where it attacks from the shadows. I think that's amazing. And honestly, it just outclasses the Zeraora by a smidge because it is a really cool typing, and I wish Zeraora was a fighting type because it definitely would be number 9 instead of Marshadow. Now we're getting to the point of the list where I actually like some of these Pokemon, and I actually can talk to them for a good reason. So number 8, we got Deoxys. Now I really like Deoxys. It's a really cool Pokemon. I love the different forms. It did it really well, making it really offensive or really defensive or really fast. Just itself, you know, I like Destiny Deoxys. I thought that was a good movie, one of my favorite movies as a kid. I like the different forms of Deoxys, like the centers, the cores being different colors for different Deoxys. So I think that was something they should have really done with the games as well, or not made a movie on it. Maybe make one of them shiny, that would be cool. But since you made them literally just change the cores, it wasn't my favorite thing. Also, it's sort of like the villain in the video, and I didn't really like it as a villain. Because it's been portrayed as a villain and an invader, so. But I do really like its space theme, so that's kind of cool. Number 7 is Celebi. Now, I really do like Celebi. I think it's adorable. I loved it in Pokemon Forever. I really like the Dark Celebi version. Surprisingly, as I've talked about, I don't like the villain Pokemon, but I really like Celebi in that movie. That movie also made me really like Tyranitar as well. So, of course, I was in a huge craze with Pokemon XD and Pokemon Coliseum with the Shadow Pokemon, so I thought it was really cool that they did that. Celebi is really cool. I like the time essence behind it. I love its relationship with Oak. Then being 4 times weak to something, a mythical Pokemon, yeah, and I definitely should be a Grass Fairy type. So that's a thing. Number 6 is Keldeo, and man, do I love this little pony guy. It's my favorite of the Swords of Justice. Really good Pokemon, a water fighting type, very powerful. I love it in its movie. I think it's really nice to see a redemption for this Pokemon as it's trying to beat Kyurem to become a Sword of Justice. So I really like that story behind Keldeo, and I think it sort of reminds me of like Sonic in some weird way. Just like the voice actor sort of reminds me of that, and like Sonic's determination to do stuff. So, and I really like Sonic, so that makes me really like Keldeo. And also, it's got a pretty cool shiny. I love that green color on it. Number 5 is Victini. Now, I've never really used this Pokemon, but I know the power behind it. I also really like the fire and the psychic type, so this was definitely a thumbs up from me. I really want to use one at some point. I don't really care for the shiny though. That kind of makes it lackluster to me. But I think it's adorable and I really just want to use it. So at some point, Victini, you're going to be on my team. Number 4, we got Mew, the original OG mythical Pokemon. Now, I know some of you are going to be upset that's not number 1, but I really do like Mew. I think it's really cool. I love how it's like the ancestor of all Pokemon, and it has that role to fill. I really liked it in the first movie. I thought it was really cute that it was mischievous, but yet it was willing to fight against Mewtwo, even though Mewtwo is definitely my favorite of the two of them. I really think it was a good counter to Mewtwo, and that was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. So definitely good movie. Definitely cool Pokemon, and I love how it can learn every TM. It's just amazing. This thing is awesome. Number 3, we're moving into the top 3. Here we go. The best 3 mythical Pokemon in my opinion. We got number 3, we got Darkrai. This thing is so awesome. I wish it were a ghost type. I think it would be awesome as a ghost type, but also the dark typing on it makes it really cool. I understand it's called Darkrai, and it would be kind of weird to make Darkrai a ghost type if it had dark in its name, so maybe it would be Ghostrai, which is actually pretty cool. That I just thought of that. That's awesome. But I really like its story. I like how it plays in that movie. It's sort of like the anti-hero becoming hero, and it's sort of it plays the anti-hero really well. I think it's really cool. Not trying to really harm anybody, but it's trying to be left alone. And this thing is just awesome. I love Dark Void. I love using that strategy when it was still viable, although it is kind of annoying to see it. But this thing, it's just a really cool Pokemon, and I really want one at some point. Number 2, we got Jirachi. Now, I didn't care for this in the movie, but where this comes into play here, why Jirachi is up here in the list, is I actually used it in my PDL Season 3. And I have really good memories of Jirachi. It was a really solid Pokemon. really held its ground quite often in the game. It used so many different strategies, whether that was coming offensive, either physical or special, being physically or specially defensive, being a stealth rock setter, using Trick Room. This thing had so many niches that it just filled on my squad that it just was a really cool Pokemon for me to use. The one thing I don't like about it is how the event makes it so you can't learn Ancient Power and Moonblast in the same thing. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You just throw Ancient Power, you just throw Hidden Power Rock on instead of Ancient Power. They're the same base power, but it's nice to get that boost. But this thing is really, really cool. I wish I could have it so it could grant my wishes and I can get some shinies. But other than that, it's a really cool Pokemon. I love the Steel Psychic type. I think it's a really good type combination. And we see how good that is with Metagross as well. So, very cool Pokemon. And number 1, we have Shaman. Now, I also used this in PDL Season 3. It was amazing. Defensive grass type that can also be run offensively. Mixed. It can set up Leech Seed. It's a really cool Pokemon. I really like Shaman. I just think it's adorable. It's also a little hedgehog Pokemon. And, you know how I like Sonic. So, definitely going to fit in there as a hedgehog that I want to have. I love the shiny coloring of it. I think it's amazing. And I really do like the Sky form. I really love the Sky form. I definitely would pick it over the regular form because, I mean, the regular form's cute and everything, but I like the Sky form better. Just that freeness of the Pokemon. It's just so majestic. I love it. Alright, guys. Well, that is my rankings of all the all of the mythical Pokemon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So we went through all 21 of them. Feel free to do this yourself. The only one I really want to see, do I want to tag somebody? I don't know if I want to tag somebody. I think I'm not. You guys do it if you want to. Also, feel free to leave your top 3 favorite mythical Pokemon in the comments down below. I would love to see what you guys choose. So make sure you do that. But that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you do leave a like button down below. And make sure you do subscribe for more content from me. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you very much for coming out. Let me know if you want to see more ranking videos. Like maybe we can do legendaries. Maybe we do, something weird like Pikachu clones or something. I don't know. You guys come up with the theme you want me to do and then we can see if we do a ranking on it. Maybe this could be a series. But honestly, I really enjoyed this video. I hope you guys did too. And that's my opinion on the mythical Pokemon. So let me know your top 3 in the comments down below. And I will see you guys next time for some more content from me. But until then, my name is Chaos, and I am signing off. Stay safe, and as always, folks, burn it up.